Hi there. My name is Keith and I've been known to dabble in fantasy football. For those not in the know, fantasy football is basically where you take a collection of players, regardless of what team they play on, and as long as your players perform well, you can win your fantasy football league. Now you can take people who are, great at throwing touchdowns, people that are great at rushing for touchdowns, also great defenses. You want to make sure you're putting together a strong collection of players. Now they don't have fantasy. They don't have a fantasy football type of thing for movie stars. But if they did, I think to myself, if you want somebody that you know is going to be nominated for an Oscar, you probably want to go out and get somebody like a Meryl Streep on your fantasy team. Or if you wanted to make sure that you had your fantasy movie team consisted of like a good book collection, maybe you'd go out and you'd get the Harry Potter series or something like that. But if you're looking for a extremely bankable star on your fantasy team, somebody that you know is going to absolutely crush the box office, then you probably want to go out and get Will Smith. I mean, Will Smith has been absolutely tearing up the Hollywood box office for years and years. From movies such as Independence Day to I Am Legend to the Men in Black series, it's like this guy absolutely owns the box office because he's such a fantastic actor. Looking at him on screen, he evokes so many different emotions that just come across as so genuine. It's like you think to yourself, is this the same guy that was telling us the parents just don't understand? Is this the same guy that was telling us he thinks he can beat Mike Tyson? Now, for all of Will Smith's movies, I always go back and I think to one of his movies, 6 Degrees of Separation. Such a fantastic movie and probably one of the first movies where I started to really appreciate his true acting talent. Well, he's back to grace his presence on the big screen again with his new movie, Focus. In Focus, he plays a con man named Nicky, and Nicky leads a group of thieves who are out doing a lot of different crimes. To the point where I'm thinking to myself, I got to make sure I've always got one hand in my pocket so I don't get pickpocketed. Along the way, he meets up with Margot, Robbie's character, a young con woman in the making, and he takes her under his wing. Now, Margot Robbie, some of you will remember from The Wolf of Wall Street, which came out a couple years ago. She is completely growing up before our eyes, and we see her absolutely holding her own with this Hollywood heavyweight on the big screen. Now, one of my favorite movies of all time is a movie named Confidence. Came out, I believe, in 2004, directed by James Foley, starring Ed Burns, and it also depicted the tale of a group of conmen. So as a huge fan of that movie, and someone who's seen that movie probably about 15 or 20 times, as I'm watching Focus, I'm thinking to myself, okay, am I actually seeing what I think is happening, or is it more so of a sleight of hand? And for that, I found myself watching this movie with a bit of skepticism. But that aside, the fact that I'm even mentioning Focus and Confidence in the same breath is a compliment to Focus and a compliment to the fact that it's such an enjoyable movie. There are a couple of parts in the movie which I thought were a little hokey, but it doesn't ruin the movie overall. And to that end, I give this movie a B. Will Smith has done it again, but not alone. Margot Robbie deserves a lot of the credit for this being a very enjoyable movie and one that I think that you should definitely check out. As always, you can reach out to me on Twitter at CFL_fan, Facebook.com/WittyWhittier and WittyWhittier.com. I appreciate you taking the time to check out this blog, and I'll see you at the movies.